Hi, Vanessa. My name is Rachel. I am the dietetic intern, and it's great to meet with you today. How have things been going with you since your recent diagnosis of diabetes? Before we begin today, do I have your consent to discuss nutrition and health behaviors? I just wanted to let you know that this session will take about 10 minutes. And can you tell me a little bit why you're here today? The doctor said that my blood glucose levels were high, and he said that you can help me manage them and eat better. I just wanted to review some medical information first before we get started from your chart. It says that you recently had gestational diabetes in the past, and you're currently on metformin. You're also fasting blood glucose was a little bit elevated, which was 222, which is high. And your A1C, which at a 3-month average was about 8.2, which was high as well. What is your current routine for checking your blood sugar? Do you have a current routine right now? Not often, or consistent. I would like to know more about how to manage my levels. Overall, we would like you to achieve or maintain a target blood glucose A1C in 3 months of less than 7%. So compared to the 8.2 that you currently have, we also would like to see a 2 hours after eating, that your levels be less than 180 milligrams per deciliter, and your fasting blood glucose, which is your overnight blood glucose range, between 80 and 130 milligrams per deciliter. So that's the target range. Um, so to get an accurate reading as far as fasting goes, we would like you to, the steps to do that would be to wash your hands, use a new Lancet, test immediately after waking up, and then try to keep a log of the readings. If you had any notes that you want to take, or like stress or sleeping patterns or late night snacks, that also would be great to write down and to bring into the next appointment. Um, so besides that, what has been your most difficult or most challenging for you about managing your blood sugars? So that would be like planning meals. You usually have coffee in the morning with your medication and you feel a little nauseated. Well, it does sound like you are busy, and meal planning can be challenging. However, have you ever thought about possibly having smaller meals throughout the day? I know, that your diet recall seems like that you, didn't eat much for breakfast and you didn't eat, until later in the evening. So, what are your thoughts about having smaller meals throughout the day, and what do you think would happen if you were going to eat those smaller meals? What would happen to your blood glucose levels? Well, maybe they would help me manage my glucose levels, and they wouldn't run so high. Yeah, exactly. To keep your glucose levels in target range, try and eat the same amount of carbohydrates the same time each day. I don't know if you ever heard of this, but did you ever hear anything about the plate method? Not really. Okay, well, let me share my screen and I'm gonna bring up the plate method. Just hold on 1 second here. Stop sharing my screen for a second. I'm gonna start sharing my screen. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this, but this is the plate method. So first thing you want to do is kind of start with a 9-inch plate. Okay, so this is a regular size plate. It's not an oversized plate. And you want to fill your plate over here where my cursor is, with non-starchy vegetables. And I can go over on the left-hand side over here, you'll see some non-starchy vegetables like you can see cucumbers and tomatoes, broccoli, lettuce, spinach, cabbage, asparagus, carrots, and mushrooms. Those all will be non-starchy vegetables. Um, these basically help are high in fiber, and they help to keep your blood glucose levels kind of stable. Um, so, is there any particular vegetables that you eat? Well, I do like tomatoes, peppers, and carrots in the sofrito chicken that I make. Um, so great. Well, this will help you kind of those vegetables will basically help you with your blood sugar significantly. So next, you can fill your quarter of your plate with that chicken, maybe like so over here. Sorry, down here in the bottom. That would be your protein. This will help you feel fuller longer. It will actually help you slow down digestion. So you want to make half your plate fruits and vegetables, a quarter of your plate protein, and then you also want this other quarter of your plate with whole grains. So that could be cooked rice, cooked noodles, potatoes, cooked oats. So all of this can go into this category over here. Okay, so um, you also could have over here some fish or seafood or lean beef or pork. So that's also an option. But when you get into beans and lentils, and I know that was one of your staple foods, um, basically they are protein sourced, but they're also count as a quarter of your plate, and they're healthy carbs. So I noticed you like beans and rice, um, and carbs sometimes can raise our blood sugar. So that's why we want to keep them at a quarter of the plate. Okay. So we went over, and also when we are eating this quarter of the plate, we also want to remember that we want to try to choose foods that are higher in fiber, like our whole grains, which helps stabilizes our blood sugar. Also, we can include healthy fats in our diet, which is not shown here. I'm not sure if it's on here. Maybe it's up top, but I don't see it. Healthy fats actually are avocado or olive oil, nuts or seeds. We just want to be mindful of our portion size, right? So down here, you can look at your portion size. So you want to stay to like a handful, um, or 1 to 2 teaspoons of oils, to limit calories and fat, and this limit calories and grams of fat. Sorry. So over here, you can see 1 ounce is a thumb. Okay. So right now, we also want to include in this is we also want to be mindful of our beverages. So we want to try to drink more water, unsweetened beverages, coffee. We should limit our sugar and cream and avoid sugary drinks. So eat less in moderation. You can see this column right here as well. What are some ways that maybe you can change your plate? I know that. What are your thoughts? Well, I like beans and rice and chicken. I like tomatoes, carrots, and peppers. So maybe I can make half of my plates tomatoes, carrots, and peppers, and a quarter a plate chicken, and a quarter a plate rice and beans. Well, I think that's a great idea. I can also send you this handout as well. Um, so next, I'm just going to go over. I don't know um, if you ever heard of counting carbs, but you can also count carbs as a way to measure your foods as well. So 1 carb would be 15 grams of carbohydrates. So some of the examples of carbs could be 1 slice of bread, which over here you'll see in the grains group, you'll see 1 slice of bread. You also have a half a cup of cooked rice or pasta, a half a cup of oatmeal, a half a cup of corn or peas, or half a cup or half a small bagel. We also, if you're going to have fruit, we have 1 small apple or orange, 1 cup of berries, or half a banana. And carb counting on the label, what you want to do is you want to look at your serving size and then find your total carbohydrate. So if your label shows 30 grams of carbs for 1 cup and you eat 2 cups, you'd get 60 grams of carbs, or for 4 servings of carbohydrates. So that just kind of goes over a little bit about labels and carb counting with labels, like visuals. Down here on the bottom of this handout, you also will see a fist, or is 1 cup, that would be of rice, pasta, or fruit. A palm cupped, so that would be a palm cupped would be a half a cup, and then a handful would be 15 grams of carbohydrates. That would be crackers, chips, or granola. So when you combine carbohydrates with protein, this also slows down your slows the blood sugar. And so the best things with that would be like yogurt and nuts, or toast and eggs. And the recommendation for a woman with type 2 diabetes for carb counting would be 45 to 60 grams per meal. So that's 3 to 4 servings of carbs, and 15 to 20 grams of carbs for snacks. This would, keep your blood sugar in range. Okay, what do you think one realistic goal would be that you would feel confident with starting today? Well, I believe the my plate, making half of my plate non-starchy vegetables, would be great. Could you send me that information? Sure, great. I'll send over the information. And I would like to book our next appointment in 4 weeks. Does that sound good? So how does December 17th sound? Okay, great. Maybe same time, maybe like around 4 o'clock. All right, great. Well, I look forward to seeing you. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.